This is just another day, another life as a person struggling with being a person. And today I would like to talk about want in respect to what do I want and what I want for myself. And I would say, arguably, or anyway, I would say I think I'm one of the most resilient person, but I don't know what I want honestly. But for some reasons, I think I know what I do not want, which sometimes gets a little bit muddled up because I sometimes think I know what I don't want, and then I find myself in a situation of what I don't want, and I'm I'm okay with it. Um, but something particularly, I think, makes me sad. It's the it's the fact that I take life itself as a pinch of salt or as a pinch of sand because I don't think I take life too seriously. However, I do take it competitively, which is a little bit difficult to understand. Or I often think I do that as a way to eject myself from situations about life that doesn't make me happy. In the sense that I could get competitive towards things I know I could conquer or you know I could do perfectly. Maybe not perfectly, but do something tangible. And whenever I find myself in situations about things I don't think I'm really confident to come over to get to deal with, I just take it less seriously. And it makes me sad, particularly because I think sometimes that makes me come across as lazy because I do not have, I can't be bothered to put in so much because I take life with levity. But actually, I do take life seriously, but I do not take it seriously at the same time, in the sense that I am a dilettante. I dibble and dabble into different things. I dibble and dabble into several things. I take interest in things temporarily, and I take interest in things. I drop the interest as time goes on because I'm more like the master of not none. So I have so much interest in so many things that makes me feel like I just want to expand my horizon about different things, but I have no skill particularly to be perfect in one skill in one endeavor. And I think as a person, the fact that I'm a dilettante has made me miss out on so much things, opportunities, if you say, because I just again cannot be really bothered to. I can't be really bothered to just take this seriously or take life as seriously as itself. But on the days where I struggle with being a person, I realize I'm actually taking life seriously because that's why this is affecting me. This is why I struggle with being a person. But I do, however, feel like I don't take life as seriously, which is confusing for me. And I think that's one of the things of how you struggle with being a person because I don't take anything seriously, but I still take things seriously. And what brought about this is the fact that I don't know what I want for myself. Maybe I do know what I want for myself, but I do not know what I want from people because a lot of times I find myself putting myself under unrealistic standard, unrealistic pressure. But I do believe I can do it because the fact that I can think it makes it possible. I think I'm too much of a believer of myself, but I do not hold other people to that standard because I feel like, oh, people are just people. People are gonna be these. People are gonna be that. So I have to cut them a little bit of lax. But I do not cut myself a little bit of lax because I put so much pressure on myself. And again, like I said, which brings me towards the fact that when someone asks me, "What do you want?" I don't know what to say. I have no idea what to say to them. I have no idea what to tell them I want, but I do know what I want from myself. And I cannot ask that of anyone because I know it is hard for me to ask that for myself. It's gonna be much harder to ask that of anyone. So I say nothing. I want nothing. And it makes me sad that I cannot pull myself forward. I cannot advocate myself. I cannot advocate for myself in the sense that I cannot say particularly to someone or to people to what I want from them because I feel as though I'm really empathetic to them that I would understand why they cannot do that for me, but I am not really as empathetic towards myself to understand why I may not be able to do this for me. And I've said this in this video several times that it makes me sad because it makes me really sad that I do not hold space for myself as much as I hold space for other people. And I think about this so much that it hurts me to have this realization of myself that I think I must hate myself so much that I do not really care for my well-being, or I do not really care what grinder I put myself through to come out on the other side. But I wouldn't want to put anyone through the grinder I will put myself through. And this comes around to hurts me more when I'm confronted with the facts, or I'm confronted when someone tells me I am not holding space for them because I think I'm doing the best I can for them. I am holding holding space for them more than I would hold for myself. And it hurts me to come to have that realization that this person doesn't recognize the fact that I am giving them more than I would give myself. Because why would you say am not considerate? Why would you say I am not holding space? Why would you say and I I'm not saying this to dismiss anyone's feeling because certainly whenever you bring that up, whenever you say that, it's coming from a place where you felt genuinely you needed to say that. However, I also feel like it's difficult as a person that doesn't hold space for himself to be told you're not holding by someone that you're not holding space for them, even when you were giving them more than you would ever give yourself. And I don't want to be hypocritical to say, um, oh yeah, I don't hold, I, I hold space for people more than I hold for myself. I really do. I don't want to sound hypocritical, but I have, I've really thought about this on several occasions all my life, realizing so many things where I am supposed to stand up for myself in face of difficulty, in face of hardship, especially when it's someone's fault. Maybe not entirely, but it's someone had made this happen, this hardship. Someone had played a card for this hardship to occur to me. I still find it hard to confront, or I still find it hard to say exactly this is this person's fault because I hold that much space for them to understand why they would act that way. And the fact that I do not really know what I want, or I don't realistically know what I want for myself or from someone or for people, makes it really hard for me to be happy and satisfied. Having said that, it's really easy for me to find satisfaction because I find satisfaction in so many little things, so many minor things that I wouldn't typically think you should find satisfaction from. But I do. And that's what makes it hard for me to accept that I have this really high, difficult standard for myself to be happy. But whenever I do feel that way, I find something that makes me feel like I am gonna be fine because I do not have too much. I do not want a lot. I do not want unnecessary things. But I do still feel like I want unnecessary things because, or I want a lot from myself because I have this unrealistic standard I set for myself that I am always trying to meet. And it makes my brain, it keeps me up at night when I think about myself in that aspect. And I spent about 3 weeks with a group of people I had never met before, and that was one of the most satisfying times I've felt in my life because I met these people I've never seen before, I've never spoken to before, and I bonded with them so much that I would love to meet them again. It's jarring when I think about it that something as little as that makes me feel satisfied. But the moment I'm outside of that space where I'm in my head or where I mean it is me against the world in some way, I start to have this unrealistic standard to protect myself or to not to even protect myself but to make myself feel confident that I'm worthy of being a person because I feel like I'm this superhuman being that even though normal humans or typical humans cannot overcome this, I believe I can. And why should that make me feel like that? Because I am just as equal as them. I am just the same as them, but I still feel like because they can't doesn't mean I can't. Or because all those people cannot, I believe I would be the exception and I would be the exception in the results. And this reflects in my personal life on how some could say I have a God complex or savior complex, particularly not God complex, savior complex, where I feel like I can do this because you can't. I can come in and save the day, but I don't want to save the day. But I do feel consciously, I feel in my head, I can save the day. I can do it. Except when I feel overwhelmed and I just do not want to exist as a person anymore. And this really troubles me, really bothers me that I do not really have a lot of compassion for myself as I would to other people, or as I would to people, and I am not really, I am not a happy person, and the only time I feel happy is when I don't know this would make me happy, and it makes it hard for me to know what would make me happy and engage in in such activities more, or engage in such things more, because I have no idea what could make me happy, and that in itself makes me feel less and less of a person.